Every JDM fan knows about the Nissan Skyline. It's this thing. However, most people probably didn't know that it came in 3 variants.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
You have the GTR, which is what most people refers to as the Nissan Skyline. And then you have the lower tier variants, the non-turbo GT or GTS, and the single turbo GT-t or gts-t. If you are thinking of buying the R34 GTR, unless you are a whale or have deep pockets,
Pockets ain't empty, cuz.
then you can forget about it. However, don't fret, you still have a choice, and let's talk about why the Nissan R34 GT-t is a practical choice. Okay, let's back up a bit and start with the Skyline's history. The Nissan R34 Skyline is a legendary sports car that was produced from 1999 to 2002. It succeeded the R33 Skyline and was part of the 6th generation of Nissan's Skyline GTR lineup. Even though the R33 Skyline was a huge leap for innovation and styling compared to the 32, most Nissan fans were not happy. The main reason? Aesthetics. As per tradition, the Nissan Skyline always came in a boxy design, which has been proven and accepted from its conception in the 1969 Nissan Skyline GTR. This was called as Hakusuka or Hakosuka, which literally means Hako for box and Suka, which is short for Skyline. The R34 Skyline GTR continued the legacy of its predecessors by combining advanced technology with high-performance capabilities. It featured an improved version of Nissan's RB26 DETT engine, which was a 2.6-liter twin-turbo inline-6 known for its toughness and tuning potential. Okay, that's the GTR. What about the R34 GT-t? Well, unlike the GTR variant, which featured the RB26 DETT twin-turbo inline-6 engine, the R34 GT-t was powered by the RB25 DET Neo engine. This was a 2.5-liter inline-6 engine with a single turbocharger, producing around 280 horsepower. The GT-t was designed to offer a more accessible and affordable option compared to the high-performance GTR. Apart from its affordability, the RB25 DET Neo is a lot simpler in design as compared to the RB26 DET. For one, it has a single turbo only, which means less oil and water lines. Even though the RB25 DET Neo is not as powerful when compared to its RB26 brother, interestingly, it did come with the VVT. This is Nissan's version of VTEC, which allows for the adjustment of the timing of the engine's intake and exhaust valves, optimizing performance across different engine speeds and loads. VVT helps improve efficiency, power output, and fuel economy by ensuring optimal valve timing throughout the engine's operating range. The R34 introduced several advanced technologies for its time, such as the Atessa ATS Pro all-wheel drive system and the Super Hikas 4-wheel steering system. These technologies contributed to the car's exceptional handling and stability, making it popular both on the road and on a track. The R34 GT-t, on the other hand, didn't have any of these advanced features but was only limited to being a rear-wheel drive, which makes it easily recognizable from the GTR's all-wheel drive system. This configuration gave the GT-t a different driving characteristic. This later on came to heavily attract the drifting community. Another unintended advantage of the GT-t's rear-wheel drive system is that it created a good balance to the RB25 DET Neo block as compared to the all-wheel drive system on the GTR Skyline, which basically adds additional strain on the blocks when the all-wheel drive system activates. This happens most of the time during sudden acceleration. #drag racing. The R34 Skyline GTR gained iconic status not only in Japan but also worldwide due to its appearance in popular media, including video games like Gran Turismo, Need for Speed Underground series, movies like the Fast and Furious saga, and magazines. It became a symbol of Japanese automotive engineering excellence and has ultimately become the top dog JDM. Like its GTR sibling, the R34 GT-t has become increasingly sought after as a great replacement for an R34 GTR Skyline, especially outside Japan where it was never sold apart from Australia and New Zealand. Clean, well-maintained examples are prized for their combination of Skyline heritage, performance potential, and everyday usability. Okay, fast forward to the current timeline. 2024 is a significant point in time for R34 Skyline demand. The R34 Skyline was manufactured from 1999 to 2002, which falls within the 25-year exemption rule under the NHTSA's regulations. This rule allows vehicles that are 25 years old or older to be imported into the United States without needing to meet modern safety and emission standards. Therefore, the earliest models of the Nissan R34 Skyline GTR and GT-t produced in 1999 became eligible for importation starting in 2024. With the high price tag of an R34 GTR Skyline, the R34 GT-t Skyline is more likely your next best option. If you're like us regular car enthusiasts with the usual responsibilities of life, then don't sleep on an R34 GT-t Skyline. Though not as profound as the GTR variant, the GT-t still have the R34 effect on the crowds. While the Nissan R34 GTR Skyline remains a legendary icon among Japanese domestic market car enthusiasts, every vehicle, no matter its status, has inherent flaws and factory issues. The R34 GT-t Skyline is no exception, sharing a significant portion of its platform with the R34 GTR Skyline. Let's talk about the common flaws and problems of the R34 Skylines. The Getrag 6-speed manual transmission used in the R34 GTR is sturdy, but it can suffer from synchro wear, particularly noticeable between first and second gears. These can lead to grinding or difficulty shifting. At worst, most of the Getrag 6-speed manual's input shaft can snap with repeated abuse. Adding insult to this problem, parts for the Getrag has long been discontinued. Talking about the R34 GT-t, it comes with a 5-speed transmission. However, it also suffers from certain issues. It has a weak third gear engagement and poor synchros, which results to either crunches in between shifting gears or grenading of the gear itself. The good news: you can still do something about this. Take note, we are not affiliated nor sponsored of any manufacturers that we share in any of our videos, so please do your own diligence or take this advice with caution. Aftermarket companies have started to step in and address the concerns of these transmission problems. For the Getrag 6-speed, parts are being developed to improve and replace long discontinued items and even push its horsepower rating to about 1000 horsepower plus, as the OEM Getrag 6-speed is pushing its limit when you reach about 800 horsepower. For the 5-speed gearbox of the R34 GT-t, a lot of manufacturers have developed a sturdy gearset drop-in package, whether a synchro engagement for OEM-like shift feel or dog engagement for more reliability to handle 1000 horsepower. And if you're bold enough, sequential transmissions have flooded the transmission market to better support horsepower raise of both the R34 GTR and GT-t Skylines. Depending on climate and maintenance, the R34 GTR and GT-t can be susceptible to rust in areas like wheel arches, undercarriage, and around the rear quarter panels. However, common rust spot that becomes a huge problem for any car enthusiast purchasing these cars are on the tower struts. R34 GTR and GT-ts have these problems since inception from factory. Nissan has poorly designed a passageway of water on the strut towers, and plus the adhesive they use promotes water absorption to the component, which locking in water in between the sheets of the strut tower and resulting to rust. When this problem arises, it usually requires the engine to be pulled out and requires a specialty job done by a qualified panel beater or automotive painter or repairer. The good news is, well, for GTRs only, Garage Yoshida has taken notice of this problem. Garage Yoshida is a restoration or resto modification shop based in Japan which specializes in Nissan GTR Skylines. With the Yoshida hands' undying love of the GTR Skylines, he has started to produce discontinued parts, and one of these parts are the strut towers for the R34 GTR Skylines. And yes, you can purchase these parts now. The R34 GT-t though remains to be challenging when addressing this concern, as the strut tower for the R34 GTR and R34 GT-t are different in certain measurements. Alternative option is to look for wrecked R34 GT-ts and take those good condition strut towers and or let a skilled panel beater replicate the strut tower. As the R34 GTR ages, sourcing genuine replacement parts can become challenging and expensive, especially for specialized components unique to this model, since the R34 GTR Skyline model is not entirely a separate model from the R34 series model Skyline, which means the R34 GTR Skyline utilizes some parts from its lower model sibling. Some parts of the GT-t that are used for R34 GTR Skyline has also been discontinued. A good example is the xenon headlights, which is a very iconic set of lights for its generation. The good news: Nissan over the years have learned how the GTR Skylines impacted the car community as a whole positively and noted that people are valuing them more as it aged. Thus, Nissan introduced the Nismo Heritage Program, which is an initiative by Nissan's performance division, Nismo, or Nissan Motorsports International, aimed at preserving and supporting the legacy of iconic Nissan performance models like the R32, R33, and R34 Skyline GTRs. Through the Nismo Heritage Program, owners of these classic Nissan vehicles can obtain authentic replacement parts directly from Nismo. This helps maintain the originality and performance integrity of these historic cars. Unfortunately, if you have an R34 GT-t, it's not currently being supported by the Heritage Program, which means you may be screwed. So you went ahead and purchased an R34 GT-t Skyline. So what's next? In terms of aesthetics, the Nissan R34 GTR Skyline excels in intricate details compared to the Nissan R34 GT-t Skyline. The R34 GTR has a distinct look which is so easy to differentiate from the lower tier GT-t. Modifying an R34 GT-t to have that sexy lines of an R34 GTR Skyline means obtaining either OEM panels from an R34 GTR Skyline or installation of aftermarket body kits. For using OEM R34 GTR panels, generally you would need an R34 GTR bonnet or hood, front and rear bumpers, hood hinge, front right and left guards or fenders, side skirts, crash bar, OEM wing, and rear OEM wide body panels. Most of these parts are usually found on the Nismo Heritage Program and or sourcing it out from R34 GTR Skyline owners who have upgraded to a Nismo Z-Tune front kit. Main problem we found out on this step is the cost of OEM panels. To sum it up, most of these panels in total could either buy another whole car like a Nissan 350Z or a Silvia. The Nismo Heritage Program parts are not cheap, and Nissan is definitely capitalizing on this demand from the restoration market. So, if you don't have enough cash to pay the Nismo Heritage tax, what's your next option? Well, aftermarket body kit, it is, and there's heaps of choices. Made in fiber reinforced plastic or fiberglass, this kit comprised of front hood lip, front bumper, rear bumper, and side steps. Apart from catering the two-door R34 GT-t, this kit is also available for the four-door GT-t. This kit is made from Japan, and more likely fitment is of good quality as most of Japan products tend to be. Again, made in fiber reinforced plastic or fiberglass, this kit is composed with one OEM R34 GTR style front bumper inspired from the S-Tune R34 GTR Skyline, one OEM style R34 GTR Skyline rear bumper, and a pair of OEM style R34 GTR side skirts. Good points for this one is the kit itself has been proportioned to fit the narrow body of the R34 GT-t Skyline, which means less wide body modification. This kit is originally made in Japan and has been copied by several kit manufacturers outside of Japan. Unfortunately, we can't verify if the East Bear still sell this kit or East Bear still exists as a company. Made in fiberglass also, this R34 GTR kit conversion makes any R34 looks exactly like a genuine R34 GTR Skyline. Apart from providing OEM style R34 GTR kits, it even includes a wide body. They also produce Z-Tune style fenders, bumpers, and hoods or bonnets. This company is based in Malaysia. Also, apart from R34 GTR Skyline kits, they also produce 400R style kits for the R33 Nissan Skyline. If you import a Nissan R34 GTR Skyline from Japan today, it would cost you approximately $100,000. Well, if you're lucky enough. And that's excluding your usual importation expenses and taxes. The Nissan R34 GTR is very limited, with only having around 12,000 R34 GTR produced worldwide. With overwhelming demand, yeah, the price would definitely go that high. The GT-t, however, would only cost you about $40,000, and there's a lot of stocks to choose from. As previously mentioned, our GT-t does have its quirks, and we do have to put some money in it to upgrade its performance and aesthetics. First things first, we'll probably need a better single turbo kit, whether a Precision 6266 Next Gen or a Garrett G35 1050, and an R-Tech Performance cast manifold, which is about $4,000. A standalone ECU, either a Haltech or Link ECU. This would roughly cost us another $2,500, and a decent fuel setup like the Frenchie's Performance Garage Twin Pump In-Tank Fuel System Kit, which will set us back around $1,000. Then add another $1,000 for the tuning. We're also going to modify the transmission and get that aftermarket gear set drop-in package and in synchro engagement. I would recommend getting the PPG 1st to 4th helical cut synchro gear set with billet sandwich plate, and this would cost us another $8,000.
Yeah, boy.
For aesthetics, we're going to add your body kit of choice. In this case, we'll go for K's Infinity Kit, which is going to cost us around $2,600. And finally, let's add some wheels into the mix, which will cost us another $4,000. All in all, we have a GT-t that looks like a GTR for about $65,000, well, give or take. And that's still a huge cost difference compared to buying a stock $100,000, if you're lucky again, R34 GTR. Obviously, it's not a GTR, but this is still a decent Skyline with your own charm. And with a lot of money remaining in our pockets, or have more than enough to forge the engine internals and add more supporting mods, then it's basically a no-brainer choice if you are into modifying cars. Speaking of GTRs, we've got a few videos coming out in the channel talking about the future of JDM. If you want to be up to speed on everything Nissan and JDM, subscribe to the channel so you wouldn't miss out when we do launch our latest news and analysis. Thank you, and we'll see you guys on the next video.